Thanks, Don. This is Retreat and Cindy.
Hi.
I feel like I'm part of the family now. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a real regular.
We missed you last week.
Oh, I know. Well, thanks. And I appreciate you allowing me to be on your program. It's a great service that you put out there for the world. And so I like to be, do what I can to be able to, at least on the health aspect, be able to kind of a similar type of thing.
What do you have for us this week?
Well, actually, it's one of my passions. I mean, and as you can tell, almost everything's a passion. But probably over the last 30 years, especially being a chiropractic physician, is a lot of people deal with pain. And the first thing that people do, either go to their drug doctor or over the counter, they go to a classification called non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. And these compounds are like Motrin and Tylenol, aspirin. These are compounds that have an impact on our body in terms of helping with some inflammation, but mostly they're kind of like painkillers of sorts. Mm-hmm. And as I was sharing a little bit with Don, all these pills is just basically alcohol in a pill. So just like if you had, so if you had a neck pain, if you drank 2 of these little babies here, you wouldn't feel any neck pain until the alcohol would wear off, and then the neck pain's still there. That's what these drugs do. They basically numb you up so you don't feel it. That's why people are constantly on it.
Another Tylenol,
yeah.
please.
Well, and people have the kind of the notion, because they can go to their big box drugstore or to their favorite supermarket, they can buy these things. I mean, it's like candy. You just pop them. And as you know, I treat lots of different types of problems. I mean, it's very common for people taking 3 or 4 of these a day, thinking there's no type of big deal about it. And then I also, on Friday, I work with soldiers, and the VA system is even worse. I mean, these soldiers are sometimes on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 drugs for all different things, from aches and pains to depression and post-traumatic anxiety and stuff. I mean, they're just walking.
Well, the whole concept of over-the-counter makes you think it's okay for your body,
right?
Because, and if it weren't for the fact that the FDA was regulating everything into 2 categories, over-the-counter and behind the counter, then there wouldn't be that. Then people would have to think for themselves. But we can't have that.
I don't know if I have it in this book here.
Safe stuff is not safe. You're telling us.
And especially since they're always trying to ban or try to control natural things, because the safety of our children. We can't allowing like herbs and plants that have been used for 10,000 years, or vitamins and vitamins and minerals and amino acids to help people, because those are dangerous. Well, there was a study that was done that compared.
Everything's flipped on its head.
Well, yeah, exactly. So this was only published in the New England Journal of Medicine, the most prestigious drug journal in the world. They compared, vitamins and herbs and over-the-counter and prescription drugs, and guess how much more dangerous were over-the-counter prescription drugs compared to herbs and things? 10%, 20%, 100%.
No, I'd say more than double.
Yeah, 2,000% more dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
But that's always the kind of the little type of scam they always played. Oh, well, we got to protect because someone had a little tummy ache when they took an herb, so now we need to ban that.
And just to be clear, this is drugs that have been approved.
That's right. These are over the counter and prescription. Yeah, these are prescription.
So anytime, and this is my big thing this week, this is what's been highlighted for me, anytime you have the government in there trying to keep people safe, all that is an excuse for them to have control and for them to play mafia, giving the game, controlling the game, giving it to the inside people. That they want
having grown up in New Jersey, it was called the protection racket. They'd go down to a community and say, you need to pay us $100 a month so your place doesn't burn down, or bricks don't get thrown through your window.
Yeah, that's all the FDA is. It's one big protection racket.
Absolutely. And the government is nothing more than just a special interest mouthpiece. Special interest groups, would have lots of money, pay politicians, pay these bureaucrats to do certain things, and they get their wishes, and we've seen that.
Concentrated corruption.
Exactly.
It's a way to get all that corruption all there funneled in together.
That's right. So if you got the money, you're able to pay for power. These are corrupt individuals. They'll do anything. Well, that's right. That's called prostitution. But that's another story. We definitely don't want to have that.
They have to be very good at not looking corrupt, though.
Exactly.
They have to be excellent salesmen, or we won't stand for it.
Well, and that's the spin.
Give us your best salesman.
Well, it's always
not let us believe that it's really the mafia.
Well, I don't know how strange this is about our family, but I was with my daughter. We were watching actually the rise and fall of the Third Reich, the Nazis, and exactly type of just as they stated in this documentary here. Once again, they were able to convince the German people that certain things were a certain way. Also, if you tell a big enough lie often enough, people believe it. I mean, that hasn't changed any. I mean, it's kind of sad. But so So that's what we do on a Friday night.
Party.
So anyway, I don't know if that's too much.
Ooh, Nazis.
So anyway,
What entertainment.
I know, so it's kind of interesting. But just like, the like classic saying is, if you don't understand history, then it will repeat itself.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
understanding what's happened in the past can predict what the future is. So, knowledge is power, but maybe next time
So that's a bit of a side trip, but
well,
so
maybe next time we'll just watch the reruns of American Idol again. 'Cause that has lots of value. Not, yeah. So that's a common type of a substance that people use for all things, from lowering temperatures for little babies. We could talk another type of thing. Well, I mean, and my specialty is go through the medical journals, the drug journals, and find out. So this just came out, a little thing. Journal of Clinical Oncology, which is cancer, May, that's now, 2011. Common over-the-counter painkiller found to be linked to, not a little achiness, a little blemish here, cancer!
Ouch.
Yes. By how much? Increased by not 1%, not 10%, 200%.
Oh no.
So taking Tylenol, once again, everybody thinks that's the safer one. I mean, we'll go through just some of the research here. I mean, it's just totally garbage. When there's natural alternatives, natural treatments from different types of exercise, qigong, acupuncture, chiropractic, herbs, vitamins, and minerals that actually help with why you're hurting, versus that using this kind of garbage. Once again, when you give your kid, that's what you're doing. It's like giving your kid basically alcohol that once again numbs the pain. Alcohol wears off. Basically, the pain comes back, and just like an alcoholic, you keep going on this, it has consequences. So, Tylenol, increase your kids with leukemia, blood cancer, by 200%. Don't like that one? How about this? Increase myocardial infraction, that's a heart attack, by 45%.
Oh.
And this was published in what? Circulation? Oh, that's right. That's the American Heart Association's premier drug journal, May 2011. And this is what they say. There is no safe duration of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories in patients, period. Is that no safe? Because people think, well, I only use it maybe 2 times a week. No, we'll go through the studies using it once, and you talk about alcohol, you take Tylenol, and this one time you can have acute liver toxicity.
Or if you use it for hangovers, right?
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, but I've heard that.
No, that's what it is. You mix this with Tylenol and this, your liver can shut down right that one time.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, but that's okay, because, someone's making money. You go to
Well, this is amazing. What you're showing us is that in their very own journals, they
That's
are
right.
telling you that they're killing you.
That's right, exactly. These are poisons. These are dangerous. These
Yeah.
are things that should not even be spoken about. But because, once again, you make lots of money, they have a patent on
But
it.
they can say, hey, we told you, we warned you, there it is right there.
Well, they don't.
But nobody looks at it
Well, that's
except for guys like you.
Well, and
And
supposedly,
you.
you think you'd go when you go to your drug doctor that he or she would have at least the decency to say, okay, if you want to take this, what's called risk versus benefits. Okay, Mary and John, if you want to take this Tylenol, that's fine. It'll help with the pain short term, doesn't get to the cause of the problem, but these are all the different side effects. But that's never discussed because they get little perks. They're drug doctors. Here's a nice one. So this is like an athlete. A lot of athletes will take this before and after working out real hard. Research shows that common over-the-counter pain relieving drugs like Tylenol, Motrin, like that, not only cause GI, we'll talk about, causes every time you take it, causes bleeding in the ulcer. I just had a woman who's in her 80s. She goes in, they want to do all this kind of exploratory surgery because she has gastritis. I just discussed her real quickly. She's taking, an aspirin every day. Every time you take an aspirin, it causes gastritis, causes bleeding, causes ulceration.
Well, they've been promoting that for supposedly to thin the blood to prevent from a heart attack.
God
It's been
forbid you
for a long
eat
time.
right and exercise and take essential fatty acids, which actually works even better.
And drink more water.
And that's right, drink more water. Exactly right.
Thin
God
blood.
forbid, God forbid that. Here, take a drug, go back, something like that. So what they found out that when you take this crap, it actually inhibits healthy muscle growth and recovery and increases oxidative damage.
Oh,
What a
unbelievable.
deal! What a deal! That's what I want. Give me more of these
Athletes
things.
would be shocked to learn that.
Well, that's right. But once again, like Don says, the knowledge is out there. Okay, so this is for all the macho guys out there, because men are terrible. Oh, I don't care. I'll just do what I think. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories linked to increased risk of erectile dysfunction. Yeah, how manly are you when you can't get it up? How's that nicely at that? So this is from a Kaiser. This will be viewed after 10 o'clock, so this will be for adults.
On
only.
YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube
Only
like
be
that.
able to watch
That's
it.
right. So this was published, once again, I don't need to go to Qigong journals, I don't have to go to the health food store, I don't need to talk to my grandmother, I go to the science, the drug doctor's own journal. This is Journal of Urology. This has nothing to do with
Wow.
acupuncture, chiropractic, herbs, or vitamins. That's what they say. And so what they were able to find out that when you take this crap, it increases erectile dysfunction. When you just take it 3 times a day for 3 months, you don't have to take this for 30 years or so. How much does it increase the chance of erectile dysfunction?
No idea.
240%.
Oh,
Cha-ching! That's a nice deal.
But then they created a market for Viagra.
Absolutely, you're
So
right. That's,
look at it on the positive
that's
side.
what I'm saying. What other industry, I keep telling this, what other industry can continue to cause more problems and keep money moving? Their motivation
Shocking.
is, they don't care. Oh, if we cause leukemia, my buddy down the street who does cancer, he'll make $300,000. Oh, this causes gastrointestinal, that's when you see your GI special. He'll make $25,000 when he has to scope you and tell you got this problem here. What other industry creates this disastrous morbidity, mortality? Yes.
I know.
Yes, go.
I know. Government.
That's right, the government, that's right, exactly.
They're the only other ones that can create the problem and offer the solution.
That's right, or buy things with no money. I mean, anywhere else you're thrown in jail. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Driving here, they were talking about, what's called unfunded liabilities is $117 trillion. All this Medicare, Social Security, like that. Everybody's just thinking, where's that money come from?
Yeah.
I just had a patient come in. Oh yeah, she had this procedure. Or no, she was taking this drug that I told her, well, that's about $300 a month. No, I only pay $40. Well, then someone else pays $260, or that's what, in this radio program says, there's an IOU out there. Well, one of these days, IOU's got to be cashed in. So we're up to about $117 trillion. That's an impossibility. Everything produced in services in the United States is between 10 and $17 trillion.
ouch.
How are you going to do that? If every dollar went to that, once again, that would take 10 years.
The purpose of this
Incredible.
counterfeit Federal Reserve system
Yes.
is to keep people blinded to the fact that they're a part of this huge Ponzi scheme.
Well, that's right, and that puts pressure on them. They're in debt. They have these pressures on them, and that keeps them, once again, not thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid.
Yeah.
Because if Uncle Sam, like you said, doesn't take mommy and be my mommy and daddy, what's going to happen when there is no Social Security, no Medicare?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be responsible for yourself?
There's-
Oh, God forbid.
Yeah. There's a dependency purposely being created.
Right.
Yeah.
Surgeons report that using this crap, what's called non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, increase wound complications by how much?
I'm going to say 200% because that's what everything
One-
else
That's
is
the number of
saying.
the day. Right?
1,000%.
Oh.
Oh,
So just like
no
Don's saying,
way.
what a great deal. So you go in for doing most of the surgery, as we talked about, not all of it, but some of it, it's worthless. We've talked about different surgeries, and we can go over that again. Be happy to go through the science on that, not what the surgeon who rips you off did like that. So now they give you this crap. When they get a complication, what happens? Do they give you your money back? Do they say, okay, Don, I'll work for free? No, they just charge you more.
Read that title again.
Surgeons report a nearly 1,000% increase in wound complications among people what are called COX-2 patients. COX-2 inhibitors are a special brand like Celebrex and Vox. Oh, that's right. Vox was taken off the market because how many people did it kill?
Millions.
That's right. But that's okay because they made some money. So that's what the kind of, the difficulty that I deal with, because that people think that, one, this is cheap. It's not cheap. One is that, your insurance doesn't pay for it. And two is, when you get that complication, it's like driving a car. If you want to drive drunk and with your eyes closed and texting and stuff like that, and you crash, it's not like now you're going to make more money because you created this disastrous thing, or you went to a car mechanic, you pay him or her to fix your brakes, and in the meantime, their lift rips out your transmission. You don't say, oh, thank God, now I'm going to have to pay for the transmission too, even though I just came in to pay for it. You would go nuts. And that's what happens every
You're
time you go to the
thankful
drug.
because you have insurance for your
Well,
car.
that's
that
right.
takes care of everything.
But insurance doesn't pay for that, so they would flip out. Exactly right. So that's the kind of difficulty that we kind of deal with. There's another
And
article.
then you can say, oh, government save me, just provide me better car, provide for my car, provide for this, provide for that, and you just dig yourself a deeper hole.
Yeah. So there's a classic, little, shocking statistic. This was only published in, once again, back in 1992, New England Journal of Medicine. Once again, I cite all my research, and that's right. I've had over a 2-year offer to have any medical drug doctor to come on my show and debate these on $5,000 just to come on. How many people coming in 2 years? 0 for an hour. $5,000 an hour for crooks like that? 0, because they know what we're
Now,
talking
you don't even
about.
say they have to win the debate. They just
No.
have to be willing to come on.
Oh yeah, but they have some integrity, because I'd make them look such a foolish criminal they don't want to basically
Yeah,
kind of come on.
yeah.
So
So,
that's
yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
No, actually, the debate is whoever wins the debate. No, I'm not going to
Oh.
give. I'm not going to have some because they're already prostitutes for the drug companies. I mean, it doesn't. Once again, it doesn't. What's it for them? They walk on. I rip them apart, telling them they're complete morons, and give me my money. Exactly. No, I'm from New Jersey. I work hard for my money. No, they have to come on and be able to defend their position, and then be able to defend it properly with science like that. The best statistic I have is New England Journal of Medicine showed that more people die for taking this crap than AIDS does. Everybody's
No way.
it's more dangerous.
More people die from taking pain relievers than AIDS.
Motrin, Tylenol, all those over the counter like that than people who basically.
Now what about
But wouldn't that
aspirin?
probably be skewed on the end of old age? I mean, people that are already pretty sick anyway.
Well, I mean, we can go through some research. Like I'm talking about athletes. When you do this, it actually interferes with the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're young, if you're an athlete, I just quoted to you. It interferes with muscle recovery. So when you're an athlete, you're not going to be as strong because this is poison. This is poison. So yeah, as you get older, your kidneys and your livers don't work as well. There's another study published in New England Journal of Medicine. People who take these non-steroidal anti-inflammatories have an 880% greater chance of what? Kidney failure. That's right. And who?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And how much does a kidney failure replacement cost? About $400,000 to $500,000. Who pays for that? Yeah. Once again, it goes on the IOU. So what an incredible system this
Well,
is.
the money goes on the IOU, but the pain and the worry of
People
the family
die,
and the
absolutely.
risk and nobody can reimburse anybody for that.
Absolutely. But people walk around like zombies, like the walking, zombies they are, thinking that during this pleasure time, taking all these drugs, there's no consequences because my drug doctor is very knowledgeable.
Ultimately, philosophically, it's an abdication of responsibility and a giving away of your soul.
That's
That's
right.
why you're walking around as a zombie,
Well-
because you're not caring for your own temple.
Well, and
that's
like I
been
said,
given to
the
you.
two only elements are the government. The government says, Don, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about.
Oh,
We'll tell
here.
you. We'll tell you what light bulb to use. We'll tell you, what water
Thank
faucets.
you for taking away my sovereignty. I
Exactly.
wasn't using it anyway.
I know exactly, but now I can just throw it away. I mean, I did
Yeah.
have it, and the medical profession is the same way. Don't exercise, don't eat right, just take this drug. And then the
Thank
drug
you.
rep comes in, slips him or her $1,000, and everybody's happy except
Yeah.
you. Like Cindy's saying, pain and suffering. And
Pain and
once again,
suffering.
every week I'd say, well, Dr. No, why do you get so upset? We're talking about pain and suffering.
That's
I want
right.
you to go up to, the Yountville and see these soldiers in pain and drugged up like that and tell me this is a happy
Yeah,
day.
Exactly.
It's not. Or like you're saying, now this person has to have a kidney transplant. They're sick, they're pale, they're going to die because the quacks told them that take Motrin every day because that's okay. No, that's why I get passionate. We're talking about death and morbidity,
That's right.
pain and suffering. Get it in your head here. This isn't like Don and I or Cindy thinking, oh, I like blue, you like green, you like yellow. Oh, that's all nice. Okay, great.
You
No.
just have a different opinion, Dr. Noah. We
Well, what-
respect your opinion.
I know. So that's why I get so passionate. We're talking about people being hurt.
Absolutely.
That's right.
This is once
Absolutely.
again.
The
This is
money's bad enough.
well. This is
The
bad
money's
enough.
bad enough, but to put that on top of this pain and suffering.
That's right.
This is people.
Well, once again, and it doesn't have to be.
Right.
So it's not like, okay, Dr. Noah, you're just doom and gloom. You're just all bad. No, let's talk about good things. There are natural products that actually get to the. There's a product there that's made from hops, rosemary, and olive leaf extract that helps with pain and inflammation without those side effects. There's a nerve 2 activator that patients are on. That's helping, and we can talk about that next time, about how these alternatives work with pain and inflammation and irritation.
There's the jellyfish helping us. There's all kinds of good things.
There's all kinds of things. If you have like little things like Alzheimer's and dementia, which is almost $1 trillion industry itself. Here's something that scientists only from the University of Wisconsin and Madison and Milwaukee, once again, these aren't health food nuts. These aren't people that are in the natural food industry. They're scientists. They're looking for these type of things, these different chemicals that are in nature that have wonderful type of benefit. So so people don't have to go down this road where their loved one doesn't know who they are, drool, or kind of just an empty shell like that. Doesn't have to be. You're able to reduce those chances. But yes, you have to do some other things.
Yeah, the miracle is that it is as controlled as the pharmaceutical companies are. There is actually real research that comes out of universities because you have people that are honest human beings, that are good scientists, that are really searching for real answers.
Well, that's what Cindy was saying while you're being treated in some of my other rooms there, is just like she kind of explained her to me. That's what's so frustrating. It's not like, I'm making these things up, I got it. I just read the science.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why aren't these drug doctors? And I always get the same BS, bullshit. Oh, well, my drug doctor's so busy. Doing what?
Golf!
Well, I guess exactly. Just because you see a lot of people and give them a lot of crap doesn't make you busy. They need to get off their butts and find out, like I read. Okay, here's some scientific breakthrough.
Well, you know what? Actually, because they have all this huge paperwork agenda that they've got to comply with by being in the system.
That's true.
The very fact that you're outside of the system and don't go through the regular insurance channels and have to play all of their games. And go through some. But a lot of people are not covered, so they have to come up with some resources on their own. Mm-hmm. But in effect, that takes you out of the system so that you have more time to research and stuff.
Well, I still disagree. They have as much time as I do. I agree with Cindy as what you do with your time. Yeah, I mean, that's something that actually the drug industry or the drug doctors and myself, insurance companies, is a whole nother type of scam that is. They take money off the top, they take 40%, and all they do is they jerk people around all the time.
So that's paper pushers.
Yeah, that's all they do. They do. They're worthless. They've never cured anybody. They've never helped anybody. All they do is hassle people. Mm-hmm. But they have. When you go down to the big city, what are the big skyscrapers? Insurance companies. Yeah. So if they start losing money, what do? They just raise their, just like the oil industry, and they just raise. There's no free competitions. There's no competition there. So they just raise the premiums, and everybody has to pay for it. They all wink and nod because they don't want to quote be antitrust, Sherman Act type of stuff, but that's all BS.
Yeah, it's all a fraud up front, and we saw that with the healthcare legislation that it gets in front of Congress, and it's all of the healthcare companies in collusion.
That's right.
Buying off the government.
That's right.
And this is the illusion of a free market. It's
and
not a free market.
More recent research showing is if you pay enough, then you become excluded from it. So if you pay enough, then you're not in that system. Mm-hmm. So once again, money talks. It has nothing to do about making people healthier and like that. I mean, there's two classic things. Dr. Breslow down at University of California at UCLA, show that what was the greatest breakthroughs in terms of health? It wasn't drugs. It's public health. Mm-hmm. Clean water, clean food, clean air.
Sanitation. Yeah.
About 5 years ago, British Medical Journal reviewed over the last 160 years in terms of what were the greatest breakthrough. Antibiotics, genetic engineering, stem cells. No, what was it again? Public health.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
People don't get it. Mm-hmm. This is all smoke and mirrors. This is all magic stuff, pretending that this stuff kind of works. Yeah. Let's walk for breast cancer because if we spend enough money since 1972, the war on cancer, we're going to break through. There's no breakthrough. I showed you. From 1930 to the current, there's been no change in survival rates. Little blips up and down. Right. Had lots of other type of factors like that. I mean, what other industry can go for 80, 90 years spending trillions of dollars and having no benefits?
And even worse, you can take that benefit that happened from public sanitation, public health, and a similar thing was happening the time they were beginning to use vaccines.
Right.
And if you actually, again, look at the science, you'll see that what's really happening, that thing that's sold as being the vaccine benefit is actually the public health and sanitation benefit.
In fact, we can talk about that. They've actually charted that by the time vaccines were actually introduced, most of the diseases were already on the downside, and it was just the momentum
Yeah.
that was
It's
going.
amazing.
But they were able to tap into it and then say, "Oh, well, we did all this.
Right, right.
Don't look behind us that we already dropped 98%.
Yeah.
We created this last 2%. It all had to do with, basically inertia. Just it was going to happen anyway. But
Yeah.
that's what they like to try to
And
do.
this information's been out there for a
Ah.
long time.
It's in textbooks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's not something that you and I make up. Here it is. Here's the graph. Here's the picture. Here's the source. Just like I just said. Where's this come from? Journal of Clinical Oncology. Right there. Yeah. Tylenol causes, blood cancers by 200%. It's all out there. But, everybody today I'm sure millions of people will go out and get their Tylenol, take it, pop it in, because they have aches and pains like that, and it's causing all these kind of problems.
So what should people do if they want to get off of their pain medication? How should they begin?
Well, once again, look for some doctor like myself. There are people out there. Check out, we'll keep watching, your web show, because I try to keep up. Watch my TV show, my websites, and stuff
So
like that.
Just
to be
do your own
informed.
learning and
Yeah.
find what works for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Go on and just do a little.
There are answers.
There are answers, yeah, and it doesn't take that much now. Before, I would have to go, and that's what I used to do. I would have to go to Davis. I happen to live in Davis, which is more convenient. But so I had to drive to the medical library, and I would have to go through the journals and read them all. Go through every one. Now you can go on the internet, do a keyword search, and you start looking at it. And there is a lot of junk out there, so you have to be kind of careful. So that's why, like PubMed is a good place to start looking for other alternatives. When you do a keyword search, there's and that Google, I have my own issues with. I've actually started switching over to iXearch so that they don't
Track your
keep
IP
track me
address.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and that's what Cindy and Don kind of reveal is there's other forces out there I don't like either. It has nothing to do with health. I mean, these people are trying to manipulate you and give information that I don't want them to do that. Once again, it goes back to freedom and liberty. I mean, I didn't
Right.
tell you you could see where where my mouse goes up to, and I click here, and I'm looking at this product here, and then develop these profiles so that they can advertise and manipulate,
Right.
give to governments
and
and stuff.
marginalized.
Yeah,
I've heard that Queen Elizabeth in England has a naturopath, not a
they
medical
do.
doctor.
They do.
So
Which they've been doing for eons.
But with the kind of work that Dr. Noah does, it's marginalized, and people don't have as free and easy access to it.
Once again, you wouldn't even have to go to the Queen of England, who's one of the wealthiest persons in the world, but most of the world doesn't have this. Most of history isn't it, because they don't have the resources and they don't have the money to waste like this. So they go to
right.
traditional ways, which now we have science showing, and that's what's exciting. Now we're able to do research. I'm able to get research from South America, from Africa, from the Orient, from Europe, that have wonderful type of properties. Right
The
now,
genie's out of the bottle. There's no way that they're going to put
I'm looking
that
into one of the two big things right now that I talked about are different seaweeds. Lots of research coming out with different incredible, powerful type of healing properties, and mushrooms. Those are the other two type of things, which have incredible long history of traditional use in indigenous type of people, because that's all they had. They couldn't go down to a drugstore and buy something. They had a tradition of, okay, your tummy hurts, let's try to eat this, and oh, that makes me sick. Okay, maybe that's not it. Let's try that. That makes me feel better. Just through trial and error, and they've developed a very, very sophisticated system. And now what the scientists have done is say, well, gee, they've used this for a headache for a long time. Sure enough, they look in there, they have certain chemicals there that that drugs can't even do. And so that's what these products are. Plus, these food items have thousands of different chemicals in it. So that's what's exciting.
And the scientists think they're advanced by isolating one chemical.
Exactly.
And then they break the holistic nature of the thing.
That's right.
So that it has side effects rather than overall benefits.
And to spin off a little bit into protein, that even like a prestigious biochemist like Dr. McCord realized that by adding the different herbs together, you get what's called a synergistic effect. You actually get an 1,800% more effective thing than just by the things themselves.
Right.
And nature has kind of created that right from the beginning, is having these different types of nutrients that work together that are more powerful than the sum of the parts. Yeah,
Yeah, thanks. There are solutions.
there are. Thanks so much.
Ta-da.
Thank you, Dr. Noah.